Okay. Good evening, everybody, from Ashland High School. Paul and Bob, along with tonight's football game between the Ashland Clockers and the Bellingham Blackhawks. The 3-2 Clockers, a position that they may not have been in for quite some time, and looking to improve upon it tonight against a good-sized, good-looking Blackhawks team, which nevertheless was pretty well pushed around, as I understand it, last week by Hopkinton. And in any case, they're going to be doing some football battle here tonight. As I noted, Ashland looking to improve on their record. And, you know, these guys are actually they're actually thinking about, talking about postseason play. So time will tell, we shall see. And this is homecoming night here in Ashland. And all of the old Clockers back for tonight's festivities, or so it would appear. As you'll notice, the Ashland squad is right down in front of us on this side of the field, and across the way the Blackhawks are coming out to take their positions too. They're down at the far end zone actually with the cheerleaders, so they're going to come out on their own as well. An obvious change this week for the Clockers, as they have lost number 34, Brian Blogensteiner, one of the key men on this team, actually, as we were saying earlier, not a guy who piled up a lot of statistics on the offensive side of the ball, but certainly on defense, a mainstay back there for the Clockers, and also the place kicker. But he's been lost with an injury to his left foot or ankle, a break, and apparently he's gone for the season. Bruce, I'm getting a wicked feedback now through the headset. You can see the Blackhawks out at midfield, and they do indeed look fired up, getting ready for the coin toss. And if that's how they prepare for the coin toss, you wonder how they're going to be prepared for this game. The coin toss being a very obvious preliminary to the real thing. But they were beaten and embarrassed, I would say, in their last outing against Hopkinton, and Holliston, excuse me, and they are looking to rebound against it. And you can be sure that the Ashland team and the coaching staff is well aware of that twist of fate, and it's going to be on their burden to try and prevent the Blackhawks from making a big game of it here tonight. Coin toss, and as you can see, it's big Adam Van Beek, and he's out there along with co-captain Tim McLaughlin for Ashland, number 54. 4 co-captains for Bellingham, and we're just about set for the toss. So as you can see, the Clockers will take the opening kickoff. They'll be going from our left to our right. And in just a few moments, it'll be Bellingham kicking off.
Both teams 2-2 in the league this year. Tri-Valley League play. Getting ready for the national anthem here. A live performance by Amy Connolly of the Ashland Cheerleaders.
We
National anthem sung by Amy Connolly, Ashland High School cheerleader. Thanks very much for a beautiful job. Well done. So we're just about set for the opening kickoff here tonight.
Fabulous rendition.
Boy, I'll tell you, this is football weather, though, isn't it?
It did get a little cool this week.
It got cool tonight. Beautiful day, but it's cooled right off. We've got a bit of a wind blowing, although it seems to be blowing across the field at this point. So it will be of equal advantage, I would think, or disadvantage to each side as this game gets underway.
You know, Paul, this Bellingham team is famous for its size. 10 players over 220 pounds, and they're also famous for their strength because they have a off-season or full-time weight training program that they run, and so they're a very strong team. They lack a little in speed, which is very often the trade-off. So the Clockers will be outsized tonight, but may have a speed advantage.
This is Mike Tabarani, number 39, who's going to kick it off. Back deep are Silvetti and number 21, Todd Asenko. Here comes the kick, and it's a short one, and it's going to be picked up, I believe, handled by the Clockers, as it looked like an onside kick attempt.
There's no question about it. That was an onside kick. It looked like Mark Vendetti came up with it.
It was number 81, Mark Vendetti, who handled it, did a nice job of it. The ball took a spinning bounce up and toward him, and he wrapped his arms around it and drew it in. So he handles the ball, and Ashland will take over right at midfield, 1st and 10.
I'll tell you, he wasn't far from picking that one up and going into the end zone. There were no tacklers.
No, there was no one between him and the end zone. He had a notion, but on the other hand, I think the smart way to address that kind of a situation is to do what he did, handle a ball and fall on it.
Take the great field position.
And they've got it. Okay, here we go. Number 12, Greg Carey. First play, handoff. This is Mark Pandolfi. Pandolfi ahead, deep into Blackhawks territory. Tripped up, and he's down at the 35-yard line.
16-yard gain for Craig Pandolfi on the first play of the game. Pandolfi substituting in the backfield for the injured Brian Blogensteiner.
I believe I see a flag down, however. Let's see what they call. Looks like it's going to go against the Clockers. And it was thrown back around the 42-yard line, and they're going to call holding against Ashland, so this one's going to come back.
No wonder that hole was so big.
I guess.
Holy cow, first play, a 16-yard game wiped out by an offensive holding penalty.
But the flag was thrown about 8 yards past the line of scrimmage. So it's not that it didn't happen when the play began, evidently.
Happened in the downfield blocking, apparently.
Right. So a net loss back to the 36-yard line. So it'll still be 1st down and about 14 yards to go. As Carey calls signals, he hands it off again, this time to Jeff Silvetti, number 23, and he slashes off tackle. It did appear for a couple of yards. So it'll be 2nd down and about 12.
Silvetti with a 31-yard touchdown run last week as the Clockers stunned Medfield 14-9. Greg Carey hit Adam Van Beek with a 9-yard touchdown pass for the Clockers' other score. And Todd Asenko, if I'm not mistaken, got his first career Clocker points with a 2-point conversion reception from Carey.
Kevin Hatcher is checked in. Now Silvetti has come to the sideline. The pitch is to Hatcher. He's trying to turn it outside. He's being hemmed in, and he's going to be tackled, gang tackled, and a loss on the play of 3 or 4, depending on where they spot the ball. But a significant loss for the Clockers. They spot it right at the 45-yard line, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 15 situation.
Blackhawks play a 50 defense, 5 up front with the nose guard, 2 linebackers, and 4 defensive backs. And that was Jeff LaRose, number 30, saw it all the way and strung it out for a gain of, actually a loss, I guess, of about 4 yards. So we're back to 3rd now and 15. Passing situation.
They send Sudmeyer on the right. Silvetti is in the slot. Carey is back to throw. Has some time. Feels the pressure coming. Throws complete to Sudmeyer. Sudmeyer is drilled at the 45-yard line, so it's going to bring up a 4th down, a pickup of 10, but they needed 15. So we'll have 4th down and about 5, a punting situation, and let's see what they do.
Early in the game, and they're going to punt.
Yep.
They show punt anyway.
Jeff LaRose, number 30, dropping back deep, along with number 21, Mark Goyer. Van Beek gets the ball out of there. He hammers it downfield. This is Goyer, handles it. He's hit, he drops it. But the fumble was recovered by Jeff LaRose. Oh, was he drilled.
LaRose was in the right place at the right time for the Blackhawks.
They better say thank you.
Ball went right into his hands.
Goyer, I didn't see who got Goyer. He was drilled.
Right on him. And it was after the fumble, so usually that eliminated him, of course, from recovering the fumble, but Jeff LaRose right there to fall on it.
So the Blackhawks take over around the 13, 14-yard line, 1st and 10. Number 3, Greg Smith, the quarterback for this club. Smith with it, he hands it off, and this is, in fact, LaRose, number 30, and he bucks across. Let's see what he picked up, a couple, 3 yards. Let's see. They're going to spot it someplace around the 17-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and about 7 yards to go. The clock is running. We have 7:15 left in the first quarter. There's no score.
Ashland defense missing an important component tonight, and that's linebacker Brian Blogensteiner. And Tarasenko, number 21, has come in to fill the gap.
Handoff this time to number 40. That's Shannon Jacobs, and he goes nowhere. May have even lost a tad. Let's see. Not too much, but it'll be 3rd down and still about 7.
Shannon Jacobs and Jeff LaRose are the big guns for Bellingham in their backfield. They each have 5 touchdowns this year. LaRose has also caught 2 touchdown passes, so he's a double threat.
So an apparent passing situation, but this is not a big passing team. Let's see what happens. They hand it off, and again, it was I beg your pardon, it's the keeper this time. It was Greg Smith, and he gets outside, and he picks up the 1st down.
Beautiful fake.
Nice fake into that line to Jacobs. But instead it goes for 1st down yardage.
I couldn't understand why they were running Jacobs up the middle on 3rd and 7.
That explains it. And Smith brings it out to about the 27-28 yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. But this is indeed a running team. Handoff again, and this time it was again number 40 Jacobs, and the play went for not too much, so it'll be 2nd down. You would think that with a team that size and with linemen that size that a running game might be effective because they could open the holes, but they haven't been that terribly effective. I mean, the thing that made the first series go was a heck of a fake inside and then Smith taking the ball outside for the 1st down run. Smith again, this time back to throw, feeling some heat. Van Beek in pursuit, Van Beek gets him! Adam Van Beek tackled the quarterback back around the 21-yard line.
It's like a loss of about 6 yards.
But see, they'll spot it around the 23, so indeed a loss of about 6, maybe 7 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and a ton.
Big play by the senior co-captain, Adam Van Beek, number 85.
Van Beek showed it then. He's a big guy, but he can move. And he got in there and he tackled Smith. As Smith was rolling the wrong way, too. I think he's a right-handed passer, is he not? He's rolling to his left and just never got the ball off. So, again, an obvious passing situation. Let's see. Smith with it, drops straight back. He has some time, throws it out, incomplete. It was intended out there to number 80. Let's check it. That was Jason Cook, and it was past him. And was it a Senko back in coverage? It was over his hands as well anyway. So it'll bring up a 4th down and a kicking situation. This is Silvetti dropping off to take the punt. The kicker is number 88, Ricky Bellin. Here we go. He gets it off. It's kind of a line drive, and it's kind of floating out there. Comes down to Silvetti, has some trouble hanging on, picks it up at the 35, turns it upfield, stays on his feet, gets to the 40, and goes down. You know, it wasn't a pretty punt, but it was effective, wasn't it?
Very difficult to handle. Jeff had trouble picking it up. When he finally did, the Blackhawks were in on him, but he actually got past the first two guys and then kind of slipped up and went down.
Too close to the ground, and he finally finally was knocked down. But not bad field position for the Clockers, as they'll start from their own 40-yard line. And right down below us with a wrapped-up left foot and on a crutch is Brian Blogensteiner. You can imagine how he would want to be in there. But it's not to be. Hand off to Pandolfi. Pandolfi with some room. Bulls his way ahead to the 50. Second and third effort by Craig Pandolfi with a couple of guys hanging on his jersey, and he pulls it ahead to the 50-yard line. And it'll be a first down. He's across the 50. They spotted inside Blackhawks territory, so it's 1st and 10.
Give him 11 yards on that carry.
Really?
Pandolfi duplicating the play he ran on first down last time that was called back, only to the other side. He's running very strong. Now Hatcher's in. And they jump. Carey looked like he was looking over to see what the play was, just checking out his line. All of a sudden, the offensive line just leaped into action. And I would guess this is going to cost the Clockers 5, and it does on the illegal procedure call.
Illegal procedure. Nobody knew the count, least of all a quarterback. That's strange, isn't it? Because he must have been calling signals as he was looking over to the bench. It's tough to figure, but anyway, it's history. So it'll be 1st and 15.
Tough to start on that first down play with a penalty. It puts you in kind of a hole right from the get-go.
Hand off to Hatcher, and he's tripped up in the backfield.
Shannon Jacobs, one of their two linebackers, knifing in.
And I think he may have lost about a half a yard.
This Jacobs is trouble on defense and offense.
Yes, sir. So they back it off. Now it'll be about 2nd and about 16 to go, as there was a loss on that play. There has only been the one pass by the Clockers, and that was a completion to Jeff Sudmeyer for 10 yards at the time. So let's see. The pitch this time to Silvetti. Silvetti turns the corner. Silvetti is on his feet, and Silvetti picks up the first down. I don't know how he did it. He had no room to run in, but he turned it upfield, and he brought the ball ahead all the way down to about the 37-yard line.
That was an 18-yard run for that first down, Paul.
I don't know how he did it. Somehow he did. So they spotted on the 36 call, and it'll be 1st and 10 again. Under 2.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. No score. Well, the Clockers have moved the ball. They've been hurt by a couple of penalties, but they have moved it. They sit again. Carey, handoff. This is Pandolfi. And Bulls ahead for about 3. Now, those are fullback yards, aren't they?
They sure are.
I'll tell you. Just put your head down and go. The gain is just about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
He had a good head of steam up that time, but it was a good stick by the Bellingham D.
Yeah, but they paid because he...
Yeah, both players felt the
yeah,
impact. That's
they
sure.
could rest assured. Again, this is Sudmeyer out on the right side. It's a Senko to the left. 2 guys in the backfield behind Carey. Handoff to Hatcher, and Hatcher is tripped up as he comes to about the 31-yard line. We'll see where his knee touched. I think they'll give him the 31, just about. So it'll be 3rd down and almost 6 yards to go. Hatcher had a head of steam up too, but somebody got in there and submarined him. Just cut his feet out from under him, and down he went.
I thought something was going there, but...
It looked it for just a split second.
Good tackling by Bellingham.
Yes, excellent.
Little confusion. They call a timeout.
That's a smart play because they don't want to risk another penalty on a 3rd and 6 situation.
I spoke with assistant coach Dennis Nally before the game, and he says this is a real big game for the Clockers. As you said earlier, they're really thinking that they might be able to get a playoff berth under the new alignment for the Super Bowls or playoffs or postseason play, whatever you want to call them. The 3 league champions in Division 6 all go, but the 4th team is selected from all the other teams on the basis of the best winning percentage. So it's thought that you can lose 2 games this year and still get into the playoffs.
Well, not only that, but the fact of the matter is that there are so many teams in the Tri-Valley League and the Independents as well, but there are so many teams that Ashland has lost to so many times in recent and even long memory, that every win is a memorable win, and it's a big win because the more you win, the more you think you can win.
That's right. Dennis Nally remembers Ashland's last win over Bellingham. It was in 1985. It was 20-14. He was the captain of the Bellingham team that day. And one of the assistant coaches on the Bellingham team right now was also a co-captain with him, a guy by the name of Ted Rigney. So it's a big game for Dennis Nally as well.
All right, let's see where they look. Now Carey drops back to throw, and he's going to be hit and sacked. Ooh, lost about 8-9 yards on the play. So it'll be 4th down and 13, and again a punting situation coming up.
Carey's arm was cocked and ready to release, but there was nothing downfield, and he wisely ate it. Adam Van Beek was really booming him in practice, and his first one tonight was a beauty as well. Asenko is his protector. He launches another one.
Goyer and LaRose. This is coming to LaRose's side. Takes a big Bellingham bounce, and the Clockers are going to fall on it. Bounce back 5 or 6 yards, and so Bellingham will take over down around the 23-yard line. And there are 2 seconds showing on the clock, so they may not. They may barely get a play. I don't even think they'll get a playoff, will they? Or will the clock stop?
Yes, they will.
They'll get 1 playoff to end the quarter, I guess.
Chris Small stopped the bleeding there by covering that bouncing ball. That was bouncing in the wrong direction. The ball is not loose, of course, in that situation. When Ashland touches it, it's dead there. Not alive till the receiving team touches it. Here we go.
This is Smith. Smith hands it off, and a tackle in the backfield. It was Mark Goyer on the handoff. And who got in on him? Was that Frizzori? I believe, but that'll end the first quarter. And at the end of a quarter, we have no score.
Tony Frizzori, number 55, having one heck of a season for the Clockers. He was the Middlesex News and Coca-Cola Defensive Player of the Week last week for his work against Medfield in the 14-9 Ashland win. He had 9 tackles, a sack, and a deflected pass. A good night's work. That was a night game last week.
That was a nice play right there to catch up with Goyer, who's a good back, and the loss will be for about 6 yards as they, they march down the other side of the field as they're going to change sides. Well, that was an interesting first quarter. Flew by.
Clockers moved the ball on the ground very well. Silvetti went for a big run once. Pandolfi had 2 big runs, one of which was called back. But once they got to 3rd down, Bellingham stiffened, and Clockers weren't able to get really into scoring range.
The truth is, it was Kevin Hatcher that they went to twice, and he was stopped, which hurt the 2 drives that Ashland had. Not to say anything against Hatcher, it's just the way it went because there were pretty good plays on him on each occasion.
Clockers have completed 1 pass. It was a 10-yarder to Silvetti on a 3rd and 15, so didn't pay the dividends that a 10-yard pass usually does. So we'll start the second quarter. Bellingham moving towards the school.
Again, a handoff, and this is Goyer, number 21. And let's see, Goyer got back most of that loss, I'd say. Let's see where they spot the ball. The pickup will go for about 5 or 6, so it'll be 3rd down and 9. Now you would think a passing situation for a team that likes to run. Let's see what happens.
Last time they went Smith option. No
Whistle.
play, no play.
Either delay or procedure. What do we have? I don't think it's delay. What do we have? Illegal procedure, so that'll cost them 5.
Lining up in the neutral zone, moving. 2 men in motion. Could have been any one of a number of things. Happened awful fast.
So it'll be third and about 14.
Very difficult decision for Bellingham. They had some fumbles that hurt them last week against Holliston. You don't want to turn it over deep. It wouldn't shock me if they kept this on the ground and turned it over to the defense to do the job for them again.
Well, then they'd still have to kick it out of there. Let's see what happens. This is Smith dropping back the throw. He's hit, he's sacked, and it's going to be back around the 6-yard line.
Chris Small, number 66.
Well, they found Greg Smith, and they got him, and it's going to be spotted right down around the 6 or 7-yard line. So now it's 4th down and 3 miles, and they've got a kick.
I think that was a long pass pattern. I think that's what he was intending to do, was to roll slightly.
He was trying to roll, yeah, to give himself some time, but he just never got it.
They were in on him. Silvetti back alone. Clocker's in a good chance to get some excellent field position. It looks like they have the return on. Let's see what happens.
Bellin, the punter. He does not get off a good kick, takes a Bellingham bounce, but it still won't be much of a kick as it's going to come to rest right around the 30-yard line where it'll be Ashland 1st and 10.
Very short punt. Going to the books is about a 23-yarder, but it actually traveled only about 10 yards past the line of scrimmage in the air. Got a little wind tonight, and that one was, I guess you'd have to say, into the wind. Yeah, we got a good little breeze. So I look at the flag, the Doris Capunis Memorial Flagpole, longtime teacher at Ashland. Got a timeout here for some reason.
Seems to be a question of where they're going to spot the ball. I don't know why.
It landed flat on the 30. We're getting another football.
Okay.
I knew there was some reason these teams weren't moving the ball. I think we're ready now.
Well, a terrific opportunity right here for the Clockers, working from Bellingham's 30-yard line. Let's see what they can do with it. Now they send Asenko in motion, a handoff to Silvetti, and he's tripped up instantly, and down he goes.
The big play man was number 39 for the Blackhawk defense. Is that Eric Hathaway or Mike Tamburini? That's Mike Tabarani, number 39. Stuck his arm out and tripped up Silvetti.
They took a loss on the play of about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Carey again. Carey trying to roll. Carey now pitches to Hatcher. Hatcher turns it upfield, has some room, and breaks it down to about the 25-yard line. So he picked up about 6. It'll still be 3rd down and about 5 to go. Let's see where they spot it. It'll be more than that. 3rd and about 6 to go.
Tough decision for the coaching staff here. I guess it's a passing situation. Maybe something around 7 or 8 yards to the tight end, Adam Van Beek. Jeff Silvetti brings the play in to Greg Carey, who tells the troops. Savage, the center, 62, brings them out. Savage will be doing the place kicking tonight, by the way, Paul, in place of Brian Blogenstein.
Now here's hoping he gets a chance. 2 wideouts. Let's see. Carey with it. Back to throw. Has some time. Throws it out. It's complete to Van Beek. Van Beek breaks it down to about the 10-yard line. Adam Van Beek on the reception.
Big play. Big play.
Pretty play.
Let's see where they spot it. They're spotting it just outside the 10. The Clockers can get a 1st down without scoring. 15-yard gain.
Same set again with the 2 wideouts. Carey calls timeout.
Didn't like what he saw, apparently.
Same situation. You don't want to waste, you don't want to give up 5 yards to an ill-conceived penalty when you're that close.
Well, a big series coming up for Ashland. 6:21 left to go in the half. Clock is knocking on the door. Just outside the Bellingham Blackhawk 10-yard line, first down. No score in the game.
I tell you, Bob, too, Greg Carey, does he have poise for a sophomore?
It's incredible, and he quarterbacked the JV team last year, and they were on an undermanned squad, and I think it's really paying dividends for him now because he saw every type of pass rush. He was under extreme pressure every single play, and it's really paying dividends for him now. He also played, of course, he was a receiver on the Ashland varsity last year.
You can see the spot right around the 11-yard line. So the Clockers can indeed get a first down without putting the ball in the end zone, but I don't think that's their intention. Let's see. Carey with the count. Carey to Pandolfi, slashing across tackle on his feet. Let's see. He picked up some yardage, and those are tough yards down in that place.
Down to about the 7 and a half.
Indeed, it went for about 4.
Give him 4.
So we'll call it 2nd down and 6.
Carey actually caught his first career touchdown pass against Bellingham last year in the game down in Bellingham. Won by Bellingham, 44-11. Lagensteiner also had a field goal for Ashland.
Again, with the 2 wideouts. Carey on the call. And Carey hands it off inside. Was it Silvetti? Let's see.
Jeff Silvetti.
It was Silvetti on the carry. So that went to about the 5.
Takes it to the 5.
So it'll be 3rd down and 4.
This has been a situation the Clockers have been in most of the time here. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6.
Well, the Blackhawks have called a timeout.
Yeah, this is a big play. Especially with an inexperienced place kicker, it'd be difficult to settle for 3 here. It would be, it's not going to be easy for John Savage, who's never even attempted a field goal. I guess he attempted 1 extra point last week, but the snap was bad. He never even got to pull the leg back.
Well, the bottom line situation is that the Clockers have moved the ball. They've had field position. They've knocked on the door, but they've got to put some points on the board. And, you know, when you're looking at the goal line just 5 yards away, you want to do it now.
And that big Bellingham defense is going to toughen up down here. You know that. I'm almost thinking try 2 passes. If you don't get it this time, try it again in the air.
You've got about 15 yards, well, actually, maybe closer to 20 or 22 yards to work to the very back of the end zone.
Maybe you break out the quarterback eligible or something from the back pages of the playbook.
Yeah.
That was the play Bellingham did to Ashland last year down there. That Ron Howerton ended up throwing a touchdown pass to his quarterback.
Do we remember him?
Oh, 5 touchdowns last year. He was brutal.
I think it was 85 here the year before.
Whew.
And a defensive play for the record book. Handoff, Silvetti, and he's tripped up. Was it Silvetti? Let's see. It was Silvetti. So it'll be 4th down, and actually they sustained a loss on that play. It'll be 4th down at about 5. And I think I see the kicking tee. Maybe not. Let's see. Yep.
John Savage, number 62, will attempt his first career field goal.
Hold your breath, folks.
It's a 30-yarder.
It's spotted. The kick is up. It's going to be good. How about that?
John Savage.
It was a knuckler, but he split the uprights with it, and Ashland breaks on top 3-0.
He got it up, didn't he?
Oh, he got it up.
It was majestic.
It was a knuckleball. With 4:49 left to go here in the half, Ashland takes the lead 3-0.
Field goals are important.
We've got a replay. Let's see what it looked like. I'll tell you, the ball just didn't spin. Here's the kick. And let's see if you can see it just kind of float down. And, you know, it went up like a rocket and just floated down, but he split the uprights with it.
And give credit to the line. They gave him time.
He had time. He sure did. He had a good snap and a good spot by Jeff Sudmeyer, number 11. Now he gets to kick off. Come on, Coach. Give me the ball. I can do it, Coach. Come on. All right, back to business. Back deep for Bellingham. Jeff LaRose, number 30, and also number 20. This is Jeremy Bernard. Those are the deep guys. And let's see what happens. He just 2 steps, kicks it off, and it's going to come down to LaRose. LaRose with it finds a seam, and then he runs into traffic as he reaches the 35-yard line. And they'll spot it, let's see, right around a 36, I believe. And the Blackhawks will take it over. 1st and 10.
Tony Frizzori and Chris Small made the tackles. I thought LaRose had a chance at an alley here up along the right side, but put his head down. Took the tackle.
This is number 36, Ryan Numala. Numala out on the right.
Loose football.
Sure was. On the snap, I believe the Blackhawks got it, but there'll be probably a slight loss on that play. It'll be 2nd down, 10 or 11. All right, no loss, 2nd and 10. As apparently Greg Smith never quite handled a snap.
That's what it looked like, Paul.
Well, the Clockers have turned in a superb defensive performance so far, as Bellingham has been able to do just about nothing. And as they don't have a lot of time left to work here in the half. This is a handoff again. It's Goyer. Goyer around the left side, and finally he's hit. He picks up about 6 or 7, but it'll be 3rd down. Let's see where they mark it.
Good aggressive gang tackling by the Clockers.
He crossed the 40-yard line. They spotted around the 43, so it'll be 3rd down and about 3. The clock is running, 3 minutes, 45 seconds left to go here in the half.
Safety Jeff Silvetti making the stop. Along with Jeff Sudmeyer, 11.
Again the handoff, again it's Goyer, and again he's stopped. Oh no, I beg your pardon, he may have picked up the 1st down. He's very close, let's see.
Bellingham thinks they have it. The officials are calling a timeout.
I tend to agree.
Yeah, they've got it.
They've
First
got
down. So Mark Goya doing the heavy lifting here. Getting his team a 1st down.
Well, you knew he could. I mean, Goyer is a name. We've heard it a lot in the past. You knew this kid could play the game. Again, a handoff inside, and it was Goyer. No, it wasn't either. It was LaRose, and LaRose found a big hole, and he may have another 1st down. If not, okay, not quite, but it's close. The play went for close to 9 yards, more than 9. It'll be 2nd down and less than a yard to go. Now, all of a sudden in this series, the Blackhawks are doing pretty much what they want to do. Handoff again inside, but they smell it out. Let's see.
Ooh, a lot of hitting down there.
Some excellent fakes. I believe that was LaRose.
I think it was enough. Yeah. Small gain, but enough for the 1st down. Clockers anticipating the run. Brought up one of the defensive backs up close. I think they can run pretty much here on in the way things have been going. Jeff Sudmeyer trying to find out if he should move up. Here he goes. He's moving up. Clock has played 2 defensive backs.
Handoff. No, this time it's the keeper. This is Smith. Smith is deep into Ashland territory, and he's still on his feet, and finally is tackled as he gets to the 20, and a flag is thrown.
Somebody catch a face mask?
I think so. I believe so. That's the way it looked from the preliminary signal. No, it's coming back. It's holding. I think they called it a hold against the Blackhawks, I believe.
Greg Smith.
All of a sudden, they figured out how to fake in there, too, I'll tell you.
Showing some speed and some tricky moves.
But this one's coming back.
Oh, from the point of the tackle. It's a 15-yard. It must be a personal foul. Never really got an official signal. Not that we really know what all the signals are.
Well, speak for yourself.
We got to get a book one of these days.
Yeah. What's the signal for 2 hot dogs and a Coke? All right, 1st and 10 Bellingham. They work from the 30-yard line. Minute and a half to go here in the half. They've got some time. Smith with the count. Smith again trying to cut it back inside. This time he's tackled. I figured he wanted to pitch it back, but he must have seen nobody.
This time Adam Van Beek said no.
Said no way. And there's a loss of, is there? Marginally. So it'll be 2nd down and about 10. Bellingham stops the clock. Now the clock is a big factor with 1:12 left. If they're not going to pass,
yeah,
they're going to have to call timeouts.
Got plenty of timeouts. Might as well use them.
May as well use them, or else they're going to have to run to the sideline and get the ball out of bounds.
Ball sitting directly on the 30-yard line. 2nd and 11 or so. With 1:12 left in the half. And Ashland leading 3-0.
They list Greg Smith in there at 5'9" and 151 pounds, but you can see him. You can see him in his huddle. He's about the smallest guy, at least on the Bellingham side. But he showed some ability to run, didn't he?
Yeah, he's shifty. He can be dangerous. We haven't seen him loosen up his passing arm yet, so can't comment on that. But he's got huge backs and a huge front line.
Smith, this time he wants to throw. Has some heat, throws it out there, and it's picked off!
Is it Keen Shaughnessy, 59?
Tell you in a minute.
Indeed. Big play. Keen Shaughnessy, number 59, comes up with the interception. One of the defensive stalwarts of the Ashland Clockers. He's a junior. Clockers are taking over with 1:04 left in the half, deep in their own territory, just inside their own 20, 1st down.
They'd really love to get a 1st down here.
Probably try to break Silvetti on this play. He gets it.
This is Silvetti, and he comes ahead for about 5 yards.
Kevin Maines wants a timeout.
See what the pickup was.
Silvetti gives you the big play without having to throw the pass deep in your own territory.
Pickup was about 3, so it'll be 2nd down and 7.
Might try something fancy here on 2nd down too. Some type of a reverse.
Well, they can try what they want to try. The key is that at that point, down around the 20-25 yard line, they just want to hang on to the ball and take your lead into the locker room.
You don't want to turn it off, but my point is you have a chance of making a big play and keeping the ball on the ground. You don't want to do a lot of fancy handoffs.
No,
that's
nothing.
Right.
No double, triple reverses. You hope. Okay, 57 seconds left to go in the half.
Hatcher also a threat to take one all the way, but I don't think he's in there right now. Clockers huddle in their royal blue home uniforms. Blackhawks in white shirts and black pants.
Well, the ball's at the 22. It's 2nd down and about 7. As Carey calls the signals, let's see what he does. And he tries to roll, and he's going to be hit, and he's going to be dropped. And whatever their intention was, it did not work.
I guess that was a keeper.
Looked it.
I didn't see many receivers out. I think he was planning to take it around the right end, but nothing doing.
So a loss on the play. It'll be third down now and about 12. Who called timeout? Was it Bellingham?
I didn't see.
The clock is stopped, and I saw the signal for timeout, and I didn't see who he assessed it to.
I would guess Bellingham.
I would, yeah.
Because they're going to get it back here if they keep Ashland from getting a first down on this play.
No, it was Ashland timeout.
There's the signal, timeout Ashland.
Sure was. I find that surprising.
Maybe Coach Maines figured if I don't call it, they are.
Well, you know, I mean, there's always the opportunity also for, on 3rd and 12, if you can get enough protection for your guy to drop back and launch one. I wouldn't bother with any short stuff at that point, but if you launch it, you know, who knows?
I figure with Bellingham having 3-4 timeouts left,
they're going to use them anyway.
They can stop the clock anyway.
That's
so
right.
Who cares about the few seconds? Don't worry about stopping the clock.
All right, let's see who goes where. Now, that's Todd Asenko going out wide on the right side. This is Sudmeyer on the left. There is no one in that slot position, so it's tough to tell. And they hand it off to Silvetti. Silvetti ahead for a couple, 3 yards. Again, timeout is called. So the clock is stopped with 44 seconds. The play went for a couple, maybe. It's 4th down and a good 11 or 12 to go. Bellingham stopped at that time. Okay, that's what you'd expect. So Ashland has got to kick it out of there, and so Bellingham will get their hands on the ball with a little bit of time to work.
Well, I'm sure Coach Maines was figuring in that Adam Van Beek is having an excellent night punting the ball, and his defense has also played extremely tough. And if you're going to win a big ball game, sometimes you got to go all out. And I think he's sending a message to his team and also to Bellingham that we're going all out. We're not playing conservative. We're not trying to sneak into the locker room with a 3-0 halftime lead. We're not happy with that. We want it to be 10-0. Coach Maines, of course, a former quarterback at Bellingham High. So I'm sure he'd like to win this one.
This is Jeff LaRose, number 30, back in deep punt formation. It'll be Van Beek trying to kick it out of there for the Clockers. A good snap. He handles it, gets the ball away. It's going to be an okay kick. It's coming down to LaRose right at the 50, and LaRose is going to run it out of bounds. Essentially no run back, so Bellingham will take over right around the Ashland 49-yard line, and they'll have 36 seconds to work.
A big part of that punting game, Paul, of course, is that long snap. And the freshman, Mark Vendetti, doing an outstanding job. Number 81.
Now Bellingham put a pretty good rush on, too.
Yeah, that's a good time to block one. Because field position, 50-yard field position, less important with 36 seconds left in the half.
All right, the important thing here now is the clock, as you can be sure that Ashland is going to try and keep the ball from going out of bounds. But all of a sudden, Smith is back to throw. He throws it complete. That's number 21, Goyer. Goyer with a pretty good run after the catch is finally tackled down at the 34-yard line. A flag is thrown. So let's see. Now they threw it back in the direction of Bellingham. What was it?
A late flag way after the play. Big tackle by Kevin Hatcher, number 45. A lifesaver.
I think this one's going to go against Ashland.
Beautiful call by Bellingham.
Nope, holding Ashland. Defensive holding on Ashland.
Very unusual call. Don't see it too often.
You do not. But it's declined. It must have, well, they'll take the play. Apparently it would have been assessed from the line of scrimmage, so they'll take the play. It'll be first down, and they'll be working from about the 34-yard line.
It's a 20-yard play.
Clock is moving down to 20 seconds. Smith again back to throw, has some time, looks upfield, lets it go, and it's incomplete. Oh, what a stick down there by Kevin Hatcher, as the ball was right in the numbers, and I believe it was Goyer again, but Hatcher was there to just drill him and knock the ball loose. So it goes as an incompletion, and we're down to 9 seconds to go in the half, and it'll be second down and 10.
Well, Bellingham unveiling the passing attack here late in the first half. Just 9 seconds on the clock now.
Well, I tell you, Mark Goyer paid a price.
34 yards away from Bellingham. Clockers have to stop this play. It would not be a morale booster to go in at halftime trailing. Bellingham wants to talk it over. Plenty of timeouts in high school football, 5 each half for both teams. Bellingham coached by Dale Caparasso in his second season. They were 5-6 a year ago and 5-3 in the Tri-Valley League. They came in 4th place behind Holliston, Westwood, and Hopkinton. They have a growing program. They have a lot of numbers.
Well, you can see it. I thought that they had half the school here in uniform.
In the coaches' poll that they had before the season started, they got the most votes. They got 3 votes. They were the favorite to be the league champion. They already have 2 league losses, losing to Holliston and Hopkinton.
Well, we'll pick it up in a minute, but if you can't see it yet, Ashland is going to go into this play. They have 4 defensive backs, and they're looking pass all the way.
Senko moving from linebacker to defensive back.
And this is Smith. He's going to work out of a, no, I thought it was a shotgun. No, it isn't. A handoff. This is LaRose. LaRose is tackled down
nice
around the 20, and that's going to do it.
Oh, they got 1 second left, and they're giving him the timeout. Oh, they're stopping the clock to move the stakes.
Oh, and Bellingham call a timeout with a second left.
So they're going to get another play. I thought when Tony Frisori made that tackle, there was no way time wouldn't expire because he kept him from going out of bounds. But now it's one more try, and it's from the 20.
And that was a straight draw. I'll tell you what that was.
Ricky Porter hustles off. Almost too many men on the field. It's going to be a field goal attempt from the 26, so it'll be a 36-yarder.
Mike Tabarani to attempt the kick. The ball is spotted. The kick is up, and the kick is going to be short.
It's no good. The Clockers go into the locker room leading 3-0 at the half.
It's tentative, but it's Ashland's lead. And there you go. At the end of the half, the score is Ashland 3 and Bellingham nothing.